Free Forbearance Course Tip 9 Alternatives to Foreclosure. Option number 2. Reinstatement. The mortgager, person making the payments, this is Jack, may attempt to avoid foreclosure by paying the back payments plus late fees. If the mortgagee, person receiving the payments, this is the bank, is willing to accept the payments, the foreclosing attorney will verify the amount required to reinstate with the mortgagee and demand a certified check, cashier's check, or money order. Most conventional mortgage forms give the mortgager the right to reinstate, and most FHA and VA forms do not provide for reinstatement once the mortgagee has accelerated the debt. On FHA and VA mortgages, the mortgagee may allow reinstatement, and the attorney should include all expenses, attorney fees, and costs and charges incurred by the mortgagee. Let's go through the same example as option number 1. Jack finds a way to borrow money from friends and family and decides to bring the mortgage current. This can be several $1,000s depending on how many months the mortgage is delinquent. If Jack reinstates, brings the current, the mortgage, what happens to the bank? The bank benefits because it does not have to foreclose on the property. The bank now receives a monthly payment on the note. The bank receives all of the back payments, late fees, and legal fees that we are owed when the mortgage became delinquent. This can amount to several $1,000s depending on how many months the mortgage is behind. Let's say that Jack is behind a total of 10 months by the time Jack decides to bring everything current. If the monthly payment were $530 per month, he would owe $5,300 in back payments. Late fees are typically 5% of the payment amount, or $26.50 for 10 months. This equals another $265. Legal fees the bank may have incurred might be $1,000. Total due and owing to bring Jack's mortgage current is $6,565. You can still earn a fee by helping the client figure out how much the reinstatement is and how much needs to be paid and by when. Call your client's mortgage lender for reinstatement figures. You can still earn a fee by helping the client figure out how much the reinstatement is and how much needs to be paid and by when. Call your client's mortgage lender for reinstatement figures. It usually takes between 24 to 48 hours before the mortgage authorization release form you fax to your client's mortgage lender is posted in their computer system. So, after you have faxed this form, you may have to wait a day or two before you can receive any information about your client's mortgage. A day or two after you fax the authorization, call to verify its receipt. You may want to ask the mortgage lender how many payments your client is behind based on their records. You may find that the lender states your client is further behind than your client believes he or she is. Nevertheless, obtaining this information from the lender should give you a good idea as to where in the foreclosure process your client currently stands. If your client is deep into the foreclosure process and his or her case has already been turned over to the lender's attorneys, the foreclosing attorneys, the lender's representative may tell you to contact the foreclosing attorney for the reinstatement figures. This is because the lender has only the reinstatement figures without fees and costs. These are attorney fees and foreclosure costs. Only the foreclosing attorneys have the dollar amount of these fees and costs. If your client is further behind than they expected, you may run into the situation where the client is unable to come up with the full reinstatement amount. In this scenario, you would shift your responsibility to helping the client with some form of workout plan or forbearance agreement.